content. Hey everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Pagan and today's video is the Paris and Music Bank vlog. I'm so sorry that this has been so delayed. It just takes quite a lot of time to edit vlog footage. I don't know how weekly vloggers do this, but I am not built for it, so I do apologize for the delay. I also want to point out that I may be speaking kind of weird. I have like a swollen lip because I have ulcers on the inside for just being run down and overworked. So I have basically stuff on the inside of my lip that is making me speak weird. So I apologize if you've noticed that as well. But anyway, moving forward, I hope you enjoy the vlog. This is basically a short kind of vlog of my days in Paris around Music Bank. And in the middle of the vlog, we will be going into Music Bank. But what I will do first is I will actually show you the concert footage, and then I will do like a rundown / Q&A, and then move back into the vlog. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. So apologies for the mess, but this is what I plan to take to Paris with me on my 4/5 day trip. So I have my trench coat, my blazer, I have a long black dress that's kind of just a summer dress and it's like a linen fabric. Then I have a turtleneck and some black jeans. This is a long sleeve stripe, but the back is kind of interesting. The back kind of folds into like a little bow, which is pretty nice. So there's that one. This is the top that I'm going to wear for the concert. And then I just have a basic white tee, basic black tee, and some wide leg pants. So yeah, that is what I'm going to be wearing this weekend. Okay, so I am actually going to be packing all of the stuff away in some packing cubes. I got this set off Amazon. I've seen loads of people use them off Amazon, so I'm going to use them. They've got like a really cute like a laundry bag and a shoe bag, and they've got one for like your cosmetics, and I just think this is really, really handy. So I am going to pack all of my stuff away into this suitcase and hope for the best. So we arrived pretty early in the morning. It did take me quite a while to get out of Charles de Gaulle Airport, just in case anybody needs to know. It took me about an hour, but eventually I did meet up with my friend Candace and we went for a walk just in and around our hotel. We were very close to the Arc de Triomphe, so it was a very short walk. We headed to lunch and we found this beautiful little Italian place just outside the Arc de Triomphe, and we had the most amazing Italian food that I've had in a while. Okay, this really stressed me out. This is the traffic at the Arc de Triomphe, like this, the roundabout or the circular road, where there's about 5 or 6 lanes of traffic converging into one lane. In the evening, we headed to the Eiffel Tower, which is so beautiful at nighttime. All the lights are so beautiful. Also, the content vibes here were amazing. There were so many content creators. This beautiful lady in this gorgeous red dress, stunning. There were just so many opportunities to make content. You could see everybody vlogging. It was pretty cool, actually. We then headed down to the riverbank where we were going to be stationed basically for the lights or the light show, the little sparkly light show for the Eiffel Tower. It happens on every hour for 5 minutes. On the way back to our hotel, we found this beautiful little Italian restaurant called By Nasty. It's so cute. Good morning, guys. We are here in Paris on Friday in this stunning little Parisian cafe. The breakfast was really good. I had an acai bowl and it was top notch. Even the bathrooms were cute. I mean, look at this. Oh my gosh, it is so adorable. Today we're making our way up to Sacré-Cœur and to Montmartre. And these are the infamous steps. Wasn't all bad though. There was a lovely Irish pub halfway. I thought it was so cute. We came here on Easter Friday, so there was obviously quite a lot of people. Also a lot of people here for, of course, religious reasons. They were going to be attending Mass at Sacré-Cœur.
Jésus dit, j'ai soif. Un vase était là, rempli de vinaigre. On mit autour d'une branche d'hysope une éponge imbibée de vinaigre et on l'approcha de sa bouche.
We actually decided not to go in this time, but I have been into Sacré-Cœur before. Also, I know that I'm totally butchering that name, but I feel like that's the best I can do at present. We then made our way to Montmartre from Sacré-Cœur, and oh my gosh, the vibes were immaculate. This is definitely one of my favorite places in the city. I just really adore the artwork. I love the vibe, the people. This is just one of my favorite places. There are so many beautifully talented artists that were offering to do portraits, caricatures, pictures from pictures, really, really beautiful stuff. Also, because Montmartre is really high up, the views were incredible. We walked down from Montmartre to Moulin Rouge, which actually wasn't a very far walk at all. But we came because Candace's friend had recommended this little crepe truck outside of Moulin Rouge. We also reached the Louvre, which was so beautiful. The sky had sort of cleared up and the sun was starting to shine just as we got here. From there, we actually walked all the way back to the Eiffel Tower. Walking around Paris, I would definitely recommend if the weather is nice. I just think it is the best way to get around, to see everything and to come across things you just might not have seen before. It was just such a beautiful day, and they actually had this installation of a baby Eiffel Tower next to mommy Eiffel Tower, which I thought was really cute. For dinner, we went to a beautiful local French restaurant for some steak. It was really, really good. Hello everybody. I haven't really checked in with you guys since I got here. We got here yesterday, we had an amazing day, and today we actually had a really great day. The sun was in and out of the clouds, but it was a lovely day. It was like really mild, not cold, not super hot. So it was all tolerable because we went to Montmartre and the Louvre and then the Eiffel Tower, and it was all fantastic. But tomorrow I'm going to Music Bank. I don't know what to do with myself. I'm so nervous. We have crazy front row tickets. Now, I know what you're thinking. They're super expensive. And yes, they really were. This was the first time that Stray Kids apparently was coming to Europe, and it was the first time we'd known about it, and we believed that this was the only time we would be able to see Stray Kids this year in Europe. So we were going to do anything we could to get those seats. And I said, right, let's try for crazy front row, because I'm very lucky and very privileged to say that I could get those tickets, and if we couldn't get those tickets, then we would just get seated tickets. And we were very lucky because I secured crazy front row tickets like within minutes of the sale opening, and now we're here. And that was like last year. So now we're here. It's the 7th of April, so tomorrow's the 8th. And I'm freaking out a little bit. I am legit freaking out a little bit. We've decided that, so for 80s, when we had Sector VIP, we went really early in the morning. We went to like 8 o'clock in the morning. Tomorrow, we decided that we're going to get breakfast first and then go to the venue. So we're going to get breakfast at around 8 and hopefully get to the venue by like 10, half 10. There are some times that they released for the concert. I think something like 12:30 is like I think it said something like the square check-in, but I have no idea what that means. And then the venue doors open, I think at 4 or 4:30, and then the concert starts at 6. And we, as the crazy front row tickets, we will get like first access into the venue to go and find our spaces. And honestly, I don't know, like I'm really worried that like we get there, and even though we've paid those prices because we weren't there at like 8 o'clock or 6 o'clock or whatever, that we don't get barricade. And yeah, I think I'm just nervous about that. I feel like I would be disappointed if I didn't get barricade. Not super disappointed, obviously. I'm so lucky to be so close to the stage, but I kind of would be a little bit disappointed if I didn't get barricade. I don't know. I'm nervous. I'm nervous that we get there tomorrow and there's more people in crazy front row seats than I expected. Or, I don't know. I'm just hoping that we're super close to the stage, and I don't know why I'm like freaking out about that, because I'm like, probably because it's so expensive. That's probably why. I think I'm freaking out because the ticket was so freaking expensive. This is a once in a lifetime, by the way. I don't think I'll ever be paying tickets like this again unless Stray Kids have a concert in Europe, like have a full concert in Europe. Only then would I look to try and get something like this again. I don't know. I'm kind of nervous. But we did want to get breakfast. We want to make sure that we've eaten well before we go to the concert arena and queue for hours, because we're going to be queuing for hours anyway. Even if we get there at 10, like I said, the concert doesn't start until 6. So we're still going to be there for a very long time. And also, I'm just nervous because this is it. I'm now seeing groups that I've reacted to since July last year live for the very first time. Stray Kids live. Like, I don't think anybody's comprehending this. Did you understand what I just said? Stray Kids live, like in front of me, on stage, as like real humans. I don't know how I'm gonna I don't know how I can cope, honestly. But also want to shout out to Inez, who is a beautiful stay that we met today in the Louvre. She had asked me to take a photo, and then I thought she was just so beautiful. I think you're so beautiful, Inez. And so I was like, do you have an Instagram? Like, I would love to follow you. Like, because I thought clearly she's taking this photo for an Instagram. And she's like, yeah, sure. And then I gave her my phone to type in her Instagram handle, and in my recent searches was Stray Kids. And she was like, oh my God, do you like Stray Kids? Are you here for the concert? I was like, yes. And then we bonded. So we're actually going to see Inez tomorrow for the concert. So it's going to be exciting. And we're also going to see a wonderful friend, Selene, who we met at the 80s concert. So I'm very excited, very nervous. I don't know how this is going to change how I feel about anything, but somehow I think it is. Anyway, I will keep you guys posted on what happens, and let's just go with the flow. Let's just have a good time anyway. Regardless of whether or not I'm at barricade, regardless if I'm like 1 or 2 or 3 from the front. Honestly, we were like 6 from the side of the stage in 80s, and it was amazing. Like, we were so freaking close. Either way, I think it's going to be such a fantastic time, and I would rather just try and enjoy my time tomorrow, because there was definitely parts of the 80s waiting for the concert that was just not fun. So I'm hoping that tomorrow will be way more fun. I'll see you then. Alright everybody, so the next clip that you're about to see is the Music Bank experience from Saturday morning queuing all the way up until the end of the event. I do just want to preface this by saying that I had crazy front row VIP tickets, just in case you missed the little bit of the vlog. If you skipped all the way to this message, just to let you know that I had top tier tickets. Yes, I know they were stupid expensive, and yes, I possibly do regret the actual ticket price. Overall, I do want to say the concert was a blast. I will do some more feedback after you've seen the clips that I'm about to show you, but I do want to just preface stuff with the queues were really, really long, and we had quite a while. I think we were there an hour before we even figured out which queue was our queue. And also one of the pieces of footage that you'll see that probably doesn't have much context is Stray Kids standing next to the stage. They were really close to us. I think about 10 people on my left away from, say, Hyunjin and Felix where they were standing. So that clip I feel like doesn't have much context, but they were very, very close. Not close enough for me and Candace to, you know, wave at them or say hi, because there's so many people in front of us, as well as phones, as well as light sticks, etc. So we did have to put our phones up higher to even see them or to get that footage. So I do want to just let you guys know about that. And also that all of the groups in Music Bank all did an intro. So they're all lined up at the very beginning on the stage, except for Stray Kids, who lined up on the breakout stage and did their introduction from there. All right, so go ahead and enjoy the next bit of footage from Music Bank. I will go more into depth in my experience and answer some of your questions at the end of that footage. I will also just say that all of the footage that I will include from the concert has raw audio, so I do apologize if the audio is a little bit weird, but there is just a disclaimer: screaming, shouting, etc. Not from me, but from people who are around me, because I don't do that when I'm recording, obviously. But it is just sort of a disclaimer that once we're in the concert, you will get raw footage, including pre-concert and during the concert. All right, enjoy. Okay, so now that you've seen the concert footage, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I'm going to be speaking a little bit now about my experience at Music Bank. So firstly, I have to say that the queuing experience between, say, Music Bank and the 80s one in Brussels, for example, were completely different. In Brussels, we were queuing in Palais 12, and unfortunately, there was just no food, no drinks, there was no toilets nearby, nothing like that to help facilitate us. And also, the weather was really terrible. It was misty and rainy and cold, and it was just not a good vibe. In comparison though to Music Bank Paris at La Défense Arena, it was actually amazing. There was a lot of food and drink options. There were toilets available nearby. Some of them weren't in the best sanitary condition, but at the same time, there were toilets for you to use. So it felt a little bit more relaxed. Like you could go and get a coffee, or you can go and get, I think there were like hot dogs and chips. There was a little cafe nearby as well. So if somebody in your space, or if you came with a group, if somebody would mind your space, you can go off and come back. So overall, that part was pretty great. Unfortunately, that was probably the most positive experience I could say about the whole queuing and getting into the concert. Honestly, at times it was very dangerous. It had definite risks of stampede. I definitely know there's a lot of people who got hurt and a lot of people who had panic attacks and anxiety attacks because of how they were let into the concert arena. And I'm going to go into a little bit of depth about that now. So we arrived at around 10 o'clock and it took a while for us to even locate the correct line. There were lines going off in all different directions. There was no real staffing until about 11 or 12 was when we saw some sort of concert staffing. So we arrived around 10 a.m. and honestly, I think that we should have arrived earlier. In hindsight, I think I would have gotten there way earlier. However, I did meet people who were there from like 6 or 7 a.m. before the concert venue even opened. They were queuing in a particular part. I'm only going to be talking about right now the crazy front row VIP section. They were queuing in a very particular part, and then there was no staff, no lines, no kind of clear coordination until after 9 or 10 a.m. when they actually all got pushed back from where they were standing. They all got pushed right back, all the way back towards like the upper area of the Défense Arena. And then barricades were put up, and then they could go back and start queuing. So it was kind of, I think, unexpected for the staff. I think they underestimated how early K-pop fans would start lining up. I believe people had even camped overnight, and some people had been there like on the day from like 2 a.m. So it really was kind of a mess regarding organization. And I have to say, I don't think I saw an actual staff member, like a concert staff member with a high-vis jacket, like here to help kind of person, until around 12:30. Everybody in the queue though were absolutely lovely. It was really nice to meet a lot of people. There were 2 people who joined our queue who had come to the concert alone, and we absolutely adored them, and I'm so thankful that they joined us because they were such wonderful people. We did eventually find our right queue by just asking quite a lot of people, and then when there was a certain amount of people who all confirmed it was the right queue, then we got into the queue. So yeah, not really well organized, but at least there were food and drink and toilets available. Now, moving in towards when we're getting into the venue. So there was a clear area that we had to go according to our tickets. It said check-in at 12:30 at this particular booth. It was like the cloakroom. So we were all kind of lining up in front of that area up until 12:30 until it started opening for check-in. When the check-in opened at the cloakroom, we were all just sort of like filtered in through one by one, and then we were brought around the side of the arena. When we were checking in, they checked your tickets, they gave you a wristband, they gave you a tote bag with a lanyard and a magazine in it, as well as a t-shirt of your size. Unfortunately, they ran out of the bigger sizes quite quickly, so small and medium were left when we had gotten there, and I believe we were only like, I'm gonna guess 500th in the queue, something like that. Yeah, again, I just feel like they really didn't estimate well enough. I feel like they maybe underestimated quite a lot about the K-pop community, particularly in Paris, or coming to see this concert. So it didn't start well. From the check-in point then, we walked around the arena to where the entryway would have been, which is entry 14. They obviously go up in numbers, and then where the queue started, like where the barricades were cut off and everything, were around exit 20 or entrance 20. And that's where they had staff members. This is where it started to go all very, very wrong. So on the right-hand side, there was about 5 queues right where that the barricade is for, say, entrance 20. And then when they'll let people in, you had to sort of walk, not many people were walk around to entrance 14. There were about 5 queues on the right-hand side, and a very, very small queue, maybe about 1 or 2 people wide on the left-hand side. This queue was actually for anybody with priority seated tickets or anybody with disabilities that would require extra assistance to get into the venue earlier than everybody else. However, the staff really weren't clued in on what was going on, and plenty of people were directed to that smaller queue to go in as a VIP, and then they started building that queue, and unfortunately people with disabilities then were left at the back of that queue when they should have been at the front or even just going into the venue because they had priority entry as they required extra assistance. So that did take a lot of people off, especially when a person from the venue came out and was like, no, this queue is for disabilities, extra assistance, or priority seated. If you have standing VIP tickets, you have to go all the way to the back of that queue, which was our 5-lane right-hand side. And that queue was hella long, let me tell you. So naturally people came out of the smaller queue and tried pushing into the right-hand queue and cutting the queue. That just led to a lot of aggression, a lot of amped up anxiety, a lot of pushing, cramming. It was not very well handled at all. So again, we were like herded like cattle. There was a lot of pushing and shoving. Even when we were standing outside waiting by those barriers by entrance 20 or whatever number it was, we were sort of just all squished. And I did insert a clip of that in the footage, like the queuing event. I think it was like waiting to get inside the venue. It was that clip. From there, we were let into entrance 14. They started doing this in waves of people. So they would just sort of approximately count however many people and then hold the queue until those people had cleared the way. So we got to door 14, they checked our tickets again, and then we queued up some stairs to get into the concert entrance, which actually isn't the concert hall. It's just the concert entrance where there's kind of that corridor that bends around the entire hall, I guess, that has concession stands. All the concession stands, of course, were closed. We were just waiting to get into that corridor, that circular corridor area. This is where it started to get really,
really dangerous. And I mean really dangerous. I'm sure you've seen all the horror stories online, but people were punched, grabbed, assaulted, that people were having anxiety attacks, panic attacks. There was a lot of like close pushing, crushing, breathing issues. Like nobody really respected personal space. I think that everybody needed to calm down a little bit, but they just weren't. And the staff were trying their absolute best. Like my heart goes out to the staff because they really were trying their best. However, I do think they were just underprepared for this kind of madness. When those doors opened, I think those 3 doors were supposed to open, but they only opened 1 door at this time because there were issues when they opened the 3. There was like running and shoving and pushing. So they were opening 1 door at a time, and all of the staff were like, please, slowly, please slowly. A lot of them speaking French, and that's fine. I mean, look, we've come to a French country, so if you don't know the word for slowly in French, someone will translate it for you, or just pick up the cue. Like, read the room. I know a lot of people were like, what does it mean in English? I'm like, read the room. It probably means slowly. Anyway, it does mean slowly. It was doucement, and like everybody was just shouting and screaming. And then we eventually got into the corridor pre-venue hall. This is where it started to get really weird and really dangerous. They opened up doors not in sequence. So some people were let in the venue before other people were. That caused a lot of people to shout, you know, oh, that's unfair, that's unfair. And then they were running from one door to another door. Staff were trying to stop them. That really didn't go well. And eventually we did get in on that side, but it was that commotion to actually get into the concert venue hall that was probably the worst that I've heard stories from. Thank God myself, like I didn't actually get assaulted or hit or pushed or shoved or anything. A lot of it was just like communal pushing, if that makes sense. We were all shoving our way into the concert hall. That was kind of annoying. My friend actually got in before me and secured a space at the side of the catwalk, like just behind the breakout stage. And honestly, it probably wasn't the best place to be. However, everywhere else was filling up so much so that either we could be 1 or 2 from the barricade in this spot, or we could be 6 or 7 from the barricade in a different spot. And ultimately, we prioritized getting as close as possible to the barricade, as that was kind of the point of the ticket. However, as you can see from the concert footage, that didn't really help. It didn't help at all. This stage was about 2 meters high, so anybody at the barricade was still craning their neck or holding their phone really high to actually get decent photos or decent footage. So unfortunately, it didn't really help being at the barricade, and in hindsight, I think I should have just stayed at the back of the VIP area and stood around and maybe just moved around in a place where I could see better. So in terms of where we were, essentially we were at the back left corner of the breakout stage. So if you're looking directly at the breakout stage from the front of the venue, so if you're looking at the breakout stage, the back left corner is basically where we were, which was between obviously the catwalk and the main stage. It was probably one of the worst places we could have been, honestly, which was interesting because for 80s, we had a similar place and I didn't feel like it was a bad place to even stand. It was uncomfortable, but it wasn't like I had a crappy view. To be fair, in 80s, I had a great view and we were only about 5 from the stage, from the very corner of the breakout stage. Overall, though, the concert experience wasn't great. I have to say that the actual performance, the producing, the live production of the performances was A+. Every group was amazing. They all brought their A game. It was so wonderful to see. There was obviously a lot of Enhypen and Stray Kids fans specifically. So there was a lot of good, I guess, community vibes around Stray Kids performances and Enhypen performances because everybody seemed to know the lyrics and the songs. However, I didn't really get to see much of it, if I'm honest. I feel like you might have got that from the footage that I've uploaded. Some of that footage I actually didn't even see in my real life. I had to hold up my camera, which is pretty bad concert etiquette, but honestly, I paid €500 for this ticket and I couldn't see anything, and I was like, well, I need to get something. And anytime I was recording, I didn't record longer than maybe a minute and a half. I really tried to like only record every so often because I often really like to just be present and in the moment at concerts. So it kind of really annoyed me when people were holding their phones up for about 5 or 6 minutes recording an entire set. Also, I have to say, obviously in the pit, it's just really uncomfortable. I don't know if I'm just getting too old for this or if it's just particularly K-pop events or anything like that, but I felt the same at 80s. I felt really worn down after the concert. I felt really disappointed with the experience that I had. So it was fairly uncomfortable. Unfortunately, the stage was way too high. I couldn't see any of the main events. To be honest, the best stages that I saw were actually AB6 and Gravity, because a lot of people, I think AB6 and Gravity were just like the lesser known of the groups, and that worked out really well in my favor because I knew Gravity very well. I have reacted to them on my channel. I don't think I've reacted to AB6 just yet, but I was so impressed by their performances. I really was so happy that I could see their full main stage. I could see the back of the breakout stage. I saw them on catwalk. Like, it was really good, and I really enjoyed those performances that I did see. I will say though, I got very emotional during the boys set because I really like the boys, and I really was so looking forward to seeing them in concert because obviously I had reacted to Kingdom, and I was so excited to see the boys and Stray Kids, and I had seen ATs in Brussels, and I was just so freaking happy and excited to see them. And I didn't see anything that I've recorded on my phone is basically because I've had to elevate my phone as much as possible. Sometimes it was definitely in front of my face and I saw quite a good bit because I think it was Sunwoo who actually came towards the edge of the stage. But I also felt in general there wasn't an awful lot of activity this way towards us from any of the performers on Breakout. There was some, but mostly they were all left or right or front of stage. And I feel like I understand it because it's a massive concert venue and you want to give the best to your audience. But I think that honestly, sometimes where we were kind of situated, I don't think that there was the best crowd interaction in that area. But hey, that's on me. It's a learning experience. I think overall the concert was great. I did get emotional during the boys because I couldn't see anything. And then I felt really conflicted about moving from that place to maybe step back towards the back of the VIP area to hopefully get a better view. But unfortunately, when you're in that situation, it's so hard for you to remove yourself, because if you removed yourself and then you found yourself in a worse position, because considering all of the phones that are in the air and everything, I feel like I would have regretted it. So I just stayed ultimately, and I think I did regret my decision. I think maybe next time if I was going, I would definitely stay towards the back of the standing VIP area, or maybe even just get a seated ticket. But I did get to see Stray Kids live. Stray Kids in front of my face. It was amazing. Honestly, it was really, really cool. Chongmin and Felix did come to our corner of the stage, Lino as well, and Hyunjin. It was really cool to actually just see them in person. It's crazy. Also, IN has been working out. I'm just going to say, oh my God, he's coming for everybody's biases, I swear. But yeah, I think though, it was really cool to see them in person, after reacting to them for so long. And I love and adore Stray Kids. I cannot wait to see them in their own concert. So I think for the next comeback, I will definitely be trying to get a ticket to a venue. I'm hoping that they're going to be doing a European tour, and if not, I will be traveling for that event. So I did actually put out a Q&A on my Instagram and on my YouTube channel to see if you guys had any questions regarding Music Bank, and I'm going to go into those right now. All right, so the first question was from Shymi. Thank you, Shymi. How would you rate your overall experience? Would you go again? My overall experience, because of the queuing system, because of how we were let into the venue, because of the people I was surrounded by as well, when we were in the pit area, I think look, everybody's just excited and to be there and stuff like that, but there was just a lot of behavior that wasn't okay, and I think people were trying to make other people uncomfortable on purpose so that they would have to be lifted out of the pit area and moved to the back so that they could take their space. This definitely happened with a girl that we had went with, who is bless her heart, quite short, and I was trying to push her towards the front of the stage. I think she was second from barricade, and still I think she was just having a really hard time. I think people were definitely making her very uncomfortable, and it was very warm. Also doesn't help that the security ran out of water, and they did not help provide water to anybody who was basically about to faint or pass out. So that wasn't great. So including all of those experiences, seeing a friend we just met lifted out of the barricade area, and also the fact that the stage was super high, I would probably rate my overall experience pretty low, maybe a 5 out of 10. And I'm just going to give it 5 out of 10 for the fact that I got to see Stray Kids live. I got to see plenty of amazing performers live. Hwasa came right down the stairs towards us. Oh my God, changed my life to see that woman live. Wow. So I have to say, seeing the K-pop groups live was so worth it. So 5 out of 10 for that. It's docked 5 points for the incredible amount of trauma I witnessed and the experience of actually getting in there. I don't know if that's just around for every concert and how every K-pop concert works, because to be fair, ATEEZ was kind of similar in a way, but I will go back into that in an ATEEZ vlog, which should be up on my channel pretty soon. I'm sorry for the delay. So yeah, overall, I would rate my experience 5 out of 10. Would I go again? I absolutely would go again to an event like this where there's multiple groups playing, but I would get a seated ticket, or I would get a VIP standing ticket and stand at the back of the VIP area and just maybe move around until I got a better view. The next question was from Amelia Brown regarding the queue situation and was it organized? Thank you for your question. I did quickly answer that while I was just going through my experience there. It was, the queue itself was fine. Organization was not there. Another question here from FrostHawk995. Thank you for your question. What were the prices for snacks and drinks? Did you get any merch? I did not get any merch. So food and drinks actually were pretty well priced. I think specifically for a concert venue, I think it was €2 or €3 for water. There were like hot dogs and chips for €10, something like that as well. So I think like everything was pretty reasonably priced if you wanted to eat or drink. There was also local cafes and everything nearby, so you could just run in and get a tea or coffee, a sandwich, etc. And it was absolutely fine for regular, like normal Paris prices. In terms of merch, their merch stand was actually all specifically for Music Bank, the event. So it wasn't at all K-pop group focused at all, and I didn't like it. So I didn't get any merch. The only merch I got was the one that was included in the VIP set, which is the tote bag, the magazine, the lanyard, and the t-shirt. I don't actually have the t-shirt with me; it's in the wash, but I do have what it looks like. So this is the tote bag that we got with the ticket, and the magazine is inside. And that was the same as the merch. The shirts looked the same. This is the magazine that came with that. The lanyard as well, I think, is in my memory box. But it was basically a Rolling Stone K-pop magazine, and it's kind of cool. I think it's really nice, and there's some really great articles in here. Obviously, it is all in French, and there are some posters on the inside as well. All right, thank you so much for your question. Okay, so the next questions I'm going to go to are from YouTube, and I'm going to pop them here. So from YouTube, Aleph Raditya, sorry, I'm probably butchering your name, said, I heard the stage is so high, a lot of people couldn't see the performance. Is that true? Yes, it is absolutely true. It was 2 meters high, and it was really hard to see any of them. I couldn't even see the screens at some points as well, because the people either side of me were really tall, so I just didn't have a good experience. Okay, for the next question, it's from Rosa. Which group or member impressed you the most live? I have to say that obviously Stray Kids live were just chef's kiss, incredible, but I do really have to hand it to Gravity and AB6, especially AB6. I think they just came out of nowhere for me. Like Gravity and AB6 really held their own, and P1 Harmony as well were just so good. Their crowd interaction was really good. I think also it's because I could see their performances. I think all of the popular bands, specifically in Hypen and Stray Kids, I couldn't see them at all because people's phones were in the air. But with Gravity and AB6 and some P1 Harmony as well, I got to see a lot of their performance, and I was very, very impressed by those groups. The next question is from Megan. How did you find the order in which the groups performed? Was the energy high all the time, or did it fluctuate depending on the song genres and group popularity? That's a great question, Megan. Thank you so much for asking. So how did I find the order in which the groups performed? Actually pretty well. I think their groups performed in a really good order. The only thing I found kind of weird was Hypen was brought out for Polaroid Love, I think, and they just did one song, and then they left the stage, and then I think another band came on, and Hypen were brought back on later for some more songs. That kind of threw me a little bit, because I was like, this is weird. Like, why? Because we didn't see Stray Kids like technically twice. I know they all performed the same songs, but it was just kind of weird to me. That's all I would say about that. There was a really fantastic moment in the show that I didn't actually capture on film, but there was a really great moment where they had sang a cover, and the host of Music Bank was actually playing piano, and I just thought that was so beautiful. The energy was really high throughout, and obviously that was a really lovely break, because what they were covering was a very slow song. I'm so sorry that I don't know it. I'm sure somebody in the chat or the comments can correct me, but it was a really, really beautiful kind of like break. But mostly the energy was really high throughout the show, specifically when in Hypen, IVE and Stray Kids came out. I think those three groups in particular, everybody went wild. Mamamoo as well, P1 Harmony. I think there were some really good crowd pleasers as well. The fact that P1 Harmony and Gravity covered Psy's That, I thought that was really cool. That was one of the highlights as well. I think those kind of sections were really, really well planned and kept the energy very high. Okay, so it says, out of the groups that you know and like, which member got your attention the most? Were any of them that surprised you live? And which part of the crowd were you in? Could you see them well? I've already kind of gone through this. Again, we were at the back of the breakout stage. So if you're looking straight at breakout stage from the front of the stage, we were the back left by the corner. And couldn't see them well at all. So that sucked. And I couldn't really see the screens either, because there were tall people either side of me. So that sucked. So which member got my attention the most? I actually think Lily in NMIXX was just so good live. I love her. I think she's absolutely incredible. Hwasa, obviously. Oh, Mamamoo. Love her. And of course, Felix and Jonmin. Like, they came to the side of the stage, and Hyunjin, honestly, his energy was so on point. His crowd interaction was so lovely. I think he was really feeling it. And so I think Felix, Jonmin, and Hyunjin specifically But that's only probably because I didn't really get to see Chan that much, Ayan, Han, or Sungmin really on our side of the stage. I did get to see Lino a little bit, but just like a tiny bit, so I think I'm going to count him in the members that didn't really come over this side. And the final question is from Han. Did you have any surprising favorites? So groups that you weren't looking forward to as much, but who amazed you live? Any bias wrecking going on? No bias wrecking. I am still Felix, Chan, and Changbin biased on Stray Kids anyway. Hwasa biased and Mamamoo. I really wish I could have seen more of the boys, if I'm honest. That was just really upsetting. But I have to say, Gravity and AB6 really impressed me live. I think they were really, really great, and I don't think that I've paid enough attention to them previously. So yeah, Gravity and AB6, honestly, I think they really did blow me away a little bit. I think IVE were really good too. And they got the crowd pumping with some of their amazing hits, but Gravity and AB6 for sure. Also P1 Harmony. When Gravity and P1 Harmony did that, it was very good. Alright everybody, that's my Music Bank Q&A and experience done. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to give it a like and let me know down below in the comments if you have any further questions or if you have suggestions, let me know. And yeah, I guess enjoy the rest of the vlog. So on Sunday, we just sort of had a very relaxing day. We did some shopping at Uniqlo. I absolutely adore this store, but we don't have one in Ireland, which is unfortunate. But it is so pretty, and it was just a very relaxing vibe. We then made our way to Notre Dame. The sun was just amazing. It was beating down. It was still like chilly enough to put on a light sweater, but it was a really, really good day weather-wise. I just really adore the artwork that was available outside of Notre Dame. I think in Paris in general, some of the artwork is just simply incredible. While we were walking around Paris and going through these beautiful little shops and stalls, I was just reflecting on the concert and my concert experience, and I found that overall it was a really positive experience, but there were definitely some negatives about the concert that I would definitely regret. And so I think like Sunday was just a very pensive day. And also, this is our final day in Paris, so I felt a little bit sad that I had to go home and face adult responsibilities. But yeah, I think overall, I was just very pensive this day and trying to take in as much of the Paris scenery as I could. We actually stopped by Angelina, which is just outside the Louvre, for some hot chocolate. I definitely recommend if you're a chocolate fiend. And this was my outfit for our final dinner in Paris, where we went out to get some sushi at this really local, beautiful restaurant called Pengu. This was actually my first time trying sushi, so I actually got it with cooked chicken and fish, and it was amazing. Charles de Gaulle Airport is simply so beautiful. They even had some PlayStation set up as well for anybody who would like to play some demos, which was really cool. I just thought the whole airport was very elegant. My flight was delayed a little bit, so I had some time to play the Astrobot demo. I absolutely adore Astrobot. I actually have PlayStation 5 myself, and this is one of my favorite games available on it. And then it was time to go home. I hope you guys enjoyed the vlog. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Let me know down below in the comments if you have any other questions, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!